Jane Bashara's body found in slacks, bedroom shoes, heavily bruised, fingernails torn off her fingers, body wedged between the seats of her SUV. After a handyman is set to take the fall for her murder, in the last hours, busted husband Big Bob Bashara allegedly takes out a hit on the hitman handyman behind bars just hours before the handyman is set to appear in court. And according to our investigation, Big Bob is busted on tape. Well, he denied any involvement in his wife's murder from the very get-go. Both of them leaders in their community. He's the president of the Rotary Club, rolling in money, owning several rental properties. Coincidence? And the bottom of one of them is an S&M chamber. That's a whole different can of worms. Straight out to you, Rob Davidak, news director of WWJ. Rob, thank you for being with us. What is this I'm hearing about Big Bob Bashara? And hey, that's his name, not mine. That's what he's got on a vanity plate on the back of his Escalade. What's this right about him being caught on tape, hiring a hitman to kill the hitman behind bars?
Nancy, developments all day today. Bob Bashara charged with solicitation of murder for going after Joe Gentz. Joe Gentz is the guy who is charged with murder in the case of Jane Bashara. As you mentioned, her body was found back in January. But today, Bob Bashara was charged with solicitation of murder. The prosecutor saying that Bashara was talking with a couple of different people between June 8th and June 25th. He had several meetings and actually paid upwards of $2,000.
Whoa, wait a minute. Clark Goldband, he spoke to a couple of people. What's he doing? A cost comparison?
Well, Nancy, it's a good question. And also, if reports are to believe, the person who's already charged with the murder of Bob Bashara's wife allegedly is claiming that he was paid about $2,000 and a used Cadillac.
Joining me right now, a special guest, the attorney for Bashara's former girlfriend, Rachel Gillette. A secretary at a local college lost her job when all of this broke, and now she is in fear for her life. With me, DeRaid Elder joining us. DeRaid, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, how did your client, Rachel Gillette, get involved in all of this?
Well, she was pulled into this by Bob Bashara's manipulation and lies, and she didn't know he was married at the time, and they started a relationship, and he duped her into believing that he's a single man.
So explain this to me. It's my understanding that Bashara's girlfriend is also in fear of her life after she gets, I believe it was a crucifix in her mailbox that she believes came from Bashara's church, and also a handwritten letter with her initials on the front that she says he wrote.
She at the time, she tried to end a relationship with Bob Bashara, and he refused to allow it to end, and she spoke to him. I spoke to his attorney, asked him to have Bob stay away from Rachel. We tried to do it the civil way, but he refused. He showed up at her home. He left stuff in her mailbox, the crucifix, and it caused some fear for Rachel, and we ended up getting a personal protection order against him to keep him away from Rachel.
How long do you think it'll be before Bashara tries to put the blame on your client? I'm just going to refer to her as the girlfriend so we can keep it all straight, because frankly, DeRaid, I mean, you couldn't make this up. You've got these two rich people. You got Bashara and his wife, Jane. They have two great children, now grown. They should be living the good life. Instead, she's found dead, her body wedged between the front and back seats of her SUV. She clearly put up a fight to save her life, DeRaid. Now it all starts unfolding. You got Bob Bashara involved with the dominatrix. You find a sex dungeon in one of his rental properties. Then it comes out he's got a girlfriend who he won't leave alone. I understand that she's basically going into hiding.
Well, she obviously left the state. And just to answer your question, the blame in terms of having Rachel a person of interest, he's already tried that. Weeks ago, his lawyer indicated that they believe that Rachel is one of the people of interest that may be to blame here, which is just absolutely ludicrous and is as far from the truth as possible.
I want to go out to a special guest joining us, in addition to the so-called girlfriend's lawyer joining us today, DeRae Elder, another special guest, Angela Adelman. This is the handyman's former sister-in-law. Angela, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
You know, I understand through court records that the original hitman, he is saying he's admitted he killed Jane Bashara, but that he was forced to by Bob Bashara, his employer, only has an IQ of 67. Yet when he has been, let me just say, examined by specialists, they say he is absolutely competent to stand trial. Angela, what do you think happened?
I think he's competent to stand trial, but Joe doesn't have book smarts, but he has a little bit of street smarts. But if you ask him to do something, he'll do it. And if you offer him something to do it, he'll do it, jump at the opportunity to do that.
But it seems to me that anybody would know it's wrong to murder.
I agree. He knows it's wrong, but sometimes he doesn't separate right from wrong like normal people do. He figures, well, I need the money, so I'm going to do this. And I believe that he probably felt like, I got to do this because this man's threatening me. I am not in any way saying that he should not be charged and he's not wrong. Yes, he's wrong for what he did and he should be charged. But I also think that, he did what he did because he felt like he had to.
What do you think is the version of what happened the evening that Jane Bashara was murdered?
I honestly believe that he did it because he felt that he had to, that he was threatened and told, you do this or I'm going to kill you.
Why do you believe that? Has Gantz told you that?
No, I haven't talked to him. I have not talked to him in many years, but I know Joe. When he was with my sister, him and my sister were married, Joe was a very loving person. He was the type of person that would do anything for you. Anything you asked him to do, he would do for you. He just was that kind of person.
Why did they get a divorce?
Because he honestly had to go. It was a choice between staying here or going back to Michigan to his family, and he chose to go back to Michigan, and that was the choice he made, and that's why they got divorced.